What is happening, all YouTube warriors out there? Range Day Bro back at it again, and today we have a very special video for you guys going over the HK MR556. What's it like to shoot? Let's get into it. All right, guys, so welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very special video. We're going to be talking about what it's like to shoot the HK MR556. I've already done a video of this in the past, going over the specs, kind of the upgrades I've done to it. However, we'll brush over all that for you guys who are new to the channel. But first, if you guys have ever bought a gun just to flex on the pores of the range, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button, guys. If you're thinking about it and you want to do it, don't do it for that reason. Obviously, looking cool is half the battle, but the other half is knowing what you're doing. Otherwise, you'll just look like an idiot out there. So, all right, guys. So before we get into the review, I just want to start off on a little bit of a positive note. Love is the answer. Yes, we're talking about guns here, and we all know what they're capable of. But that's the point. The point is for these guys to defend the things we love and be able to protect us from things that want to cause us harm and do evil on us and take away our freedom. So spread your love for firearms, your love for freedom. We need more people in this community on our side, realizing that we are the peaceful warriors. You know, as the famous saying goes, pray for peace, but prepare for war. So always be ready, guys, to protect your families, your communities, and your loved ones. Always want to start off on a good note. Are the things they say about the HK MR556 true? And by they, I mean the 40-year-old virgins living in their mother's basements trolling on the video right now, talking about how shitty this rifle is.
It's overpriced.
It's a nice gun, but it's too heavy.
This gun right here ain't no better than my $500 poverty pony.
I can't believe you spent all that money on that. You can get 4 BCMs for that price.
So I'm sure if you've done any research or watched any videos regarding the HK MR556, you've heard these concerns before. You've heard these trolls trolling below the videos talking about how this gun is trash for what it costs. Well, let's get into why is the HK MR556 so expensive, what is different about it, and a little bit of the history. So what makes this gun special is its operating system. So unlike the AR-15, which is a direct impingement gas system, in this case, we have a short stroke gas piston system developed by HK. So why is that important? That's because back in the 1990s, the Army's Delta Force, at the request of R&D's NCO Larry Vickers, collaborated with HK to design a new gun to replace the aging MP5 and its anemic caliber, the 9mm. Delta Force replaced their M4s with the HK416 after they realized that the piston system significantly reduces malfunctions while increasing the life of the parts. Now you have to remember, in the 1990s and the early 2000s, the M4 really wasn't optimized, nor was the ammunition for a short barrel system. Some of the Mark 18 Mod O's were known to have reliability issues due to the shortened barrel and the shortened gas system that came along with that. Now, we've all heard of the Mark 18 being overgassed. That was the answer at the time, was just drill a bigger gas port in the barrel in order to have a more reliable gun. With the short stroke gas piston system, all of that was kind of resolved due to the design. So although in 2022, as we sit here living in the golden era of firearms, our short barrel Mark 18s like we have back here, those guys weren't really optimized to be running those short barrels, the 10.3s, back in the early 2000s. Currently, the HK416 is the standard issue rifle for the Norwegian forces as well as the French armed forces. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but it's also still used by many special forces units today. In fact, the HK416 was the gun that SEAL Team 6 used to take out bin Laden. Pretty fucking cool. And there is no shortage of movies and television series that the HK416 hasn't popped up in. In fact, I was just watching the premiere of The Terminal List by Jack Carr. Great show. If you guys are watching this video, I know you'd love it. So if you have Amazon Prime, just a quick little plug because it's a great show. It even stars in that show, and it was really cool to see that gun and the very realistic gunplay they have in that show. So the 416 popped up in there as well. So let's talk about the advantages of the short stroke gas piston system. Number one, it's going to be cleaner because you don't have all that gas coming back from your gas tube and getting your upper receiver dirty, getting your bolt carrier group dirty. More pleasant to shoot, less gas in the face if you guys have ever experienced that. Shooting suppressed, which I'm sure most of you have, it's not that pleasant, which leads into much better for suppressed use. So it kind of thrives on a short barrel suppressed full auto kind of application, which obviously this guy is not short barrel and it is not full auto, but we do have a Sandman K coming for it soon. So I'm looking forward to shooting it suppressed with that guy. And the other really famous test that HK performed was the guy in the little koi pond, bringing this guy up out of the water and firing it immediately. That's the advantage of having the short stroke gas piston system over the direct impingement. On the DI Colt that they fired in the same test, it exploded because there was water in the gas tube, and when water meets very, very hot gas, it immediately vaporizes and causes a little pipe bomb, essentially. That's another advantage if you're going to be a frogman coming out of the water, which I don't ever anticipate I'll be doing, but you never know. It's nice to know that you can have this thing come out of the water, shoot immediately, and not have to worry about that. All right, so besides the short stroke gas piston system, there are other advantages that the HK has just in general over other AR-15 or AR-15 style rifles. Number one is going to be the profile of the barrel. This is an absolute thick bull barrel. And what that's going to do is it's going to act like a heat sink. So it's going to keep your barrel cooler for longer, which is also going to contribute to the accuracy. This thing delivers phenomenal accuracy. I would say this could be used like a DMR. It can easily take you out to 600-700 yards. At the range over here in West Texas, I got it out to 600 yards with this 3.5 power ACOG and just off of my bag. So I think that's incredible accuracy, especially when you're considering how much versatility a 16.5-inch barrel is going to get you. If you can clap steel at 600 yards, that's pretty effective, and you're going to get there with some good velocities with this barrel length as well. You have a bomb-proof handguard. It's got a notch here in the top that interfaces with your upper receiver, and it's very easy to change out. As you can tell, that's one of the upgrades I've made on this guy. It's just a 1-bolt design. Here we have the Geissele. I absolutely love this. Nothing wrong with the OEM handguard, but we'll get into more of that as we get into the upgrades. Some of the newer units have an adjustable gas block in the A5. This is, in fact, the A1. That's all I was able to get at the time. Very hard to come by these rifles. They're so sought after, even with that high price tag. One of the coolest things about this is that your safety and your trigger are proprietary so that you can actually keep the safety on while the hammer is dropped forward. So let's ghost this trigger together. So check the gun. It is clear. Safety is off. Let's see what this feels like. It's a 2-stage trigger. This is the stock trigger that came with the gun. So I'm going to take it back to the wall. Tiny bit of creep and then a break. Reset. Super short, super crisp. And you're right back on that wall and it breaks again. I honestly don't think the trigger needs upgraded unless you plan on using this as a DMR type setup. Realize the hammer's down. Okay, I didn't reset the hammer. I can now throw that guy on safe still, which is a really cool feature. I just like that. And the last advantage of the HK MR556 is the step up that you have on the upper receiver. Right here, you can tell. So it'll naturally take an absolute co-witness optic and put it at a lower 1/3 height from your stock, because obviously your sights are going to be set up on the same exact plane as your optic would be. So they would still be co-witness. However, your height from your cheek weld is going to be more like a lower 1/3. And if you have a lower 1/3, obviously it just gets that much higher. It's a really cool feature. I like that feature because out of the box, you have a much more comfortable upright shooting position, which I do enjoy, as you guys found out during my last video on the Unity Tactical Fast Riser setup. So now that I've talked about the advantages of the HK MR556, let's get into the upgrades I've made and why. So the first thing you'll notice when I took this gun from HK and I started to upgrade it, the first thing I did was I changed out all the furniture. I just didn't love the furniture that was on it, the HK stock. Nothing wrong with it, but I just love the B5 SOP mod. I like the K2 grip. I've kind of standardized on the K2 or the Reptilla CQ-G grip. This is kind of my favorite. I've also upgraded the trigger guard, make it a little bit wider. And then besides that, the last thing I've really upgraded is going to be the rail. This is the Geissele rail. This guy is absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely bomb-proof. The rail that came with this gun originally is an M-LOK rail. It is not bad. It is just a very oval shape, and I really prefer the crucifix of the Geissele. So it was more of a preference thing than a necessity, that's for sure. Plus, obviously, I love the two-tone that I was kind of going for, and the Geissele just suits that very well. So that is the last upgrade I've made. Besides, the last one I forgot about was the birdcage flash hider from Forward Control Design. This is their birdcage. That is the Chemo. So I can use my Dead Air Sandman K when it comes in on this flash hider right here, which is really cool. I also have some rail scales on here and some Magpul ladder up top to protect my hand a little bit. And it's got built-in QD cups all over the place. All right, so obviously I'm a huge fan of this gun, but I will talk very frankly about the disadvantages. What are those? First one is definitely going to be the weight. So are guys lying when they're talking and bitching about how heavy this gun is? They're not lying. It is a heavy gun. In fact, the weight did influence the optic I decided to use. This gun would be great with that Trijicon 1:8. So I would say one of the biggest disadvantages is the weight. However, you can limit it based off of what kind of optic you want to put on there. I love the ACOG for how lightweight it is. I have upgraded this with the ADM mount. Just a huge fan of that. It's got great eye relief. Fits this gun really well. Allows me to actually take this gun out to range and also keep the weight down significantly. Now, besides the weight, the only other two disadvantages I will give this thing are a few proprietary parts. So if you have other AR-15s, you can't use those bolt carrier groups on this guy. So that's proprietary. The trigger is proprietary. The handguard doesn't take regular AR-15 handguards. So there's a few proprietary things as well as a gas block, obviously. However, most things, obviously like the furniture and a lot of the other things I have on this gun are in fact interchangeable. So I won't give it too much of a knock for that. And the last one is the price. There's no way getting around that. If you buy it aftermarket, it's probably going to be the same price or more because the person who had it previously probably upgraded it like I did. And so we're not even talking about the upgrades that I've made, like the Geissele rail, which is around $600. The flash hider itself is about $100, and all the other things that add up very, very quickly. So all in all, you're sitting on a lot of investment, a lot of money sunken into a rig like this. That brings me to the next topic, which is what is it like to shoot? The best word I could use is it's just easy. This gun with the weight just does the work for you. It's very easy to get follow-up shots on target. It kind of hovers right there on target as you're going rapid fire or as you're shooting slowly. It's very easy to track your shots. So that weight that everyone complains about actually leads to a better shooting experience. Yeah, you're going to get a little more fatigued if you're running this thing in CQB, if you're running it all day. During a course, you may be a little bit more fatigued than you would be on, say, a BCM or one of those really lightweight rigs like an Aveski. So yeah, you're going to have that disadvantage there, but the advantage comes in when you're shooting this thing. It is a pleasure to shoot. It's like a sewing machine. It has a very predictable recoil. I think it has to do with how well built this thing is, the fit and finish. The tolerances are so tight that it has such a consistent recoil impulse. You know exactly what it's going to do, and there's no surprises every time you pull the trigger. So in conclusion, do you need it? No. Is it an AR-15? Kind of. Is it perfect? No. Does it do things better than my other AR-15s? Yes. So to wrap that up and summarize, you don't need to go out and buy one of these right now because all of your DI guns are obsolete. That's not what I'm saying, obviously. But if you do have the cash, if you have the love and the passion for guns like I do and mechanics, it does not get better than the HK MR556. I wish they were paying me, guys. They're not. I had to pay a lot of money to get this gun. So this is clearly just my opinion, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments if you think this HK is worth it. Would you guys spend the money on that? And if you did, why would you? Why would you get this gun or why would you not? Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. If it's your first time here, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're a return viewer, then thank you for your loyalty, you sexy YouTube warriors. And until next time, stay safe, stay dangerous. Range Day Bro, out.